Hello, this is Mike with TradeWinds RV Center, here to congratulate you on your Jayco Jayfeather 25 RV travel trailer. I'm going to walk you around it, show you how to use a few things to get the best out of your camping experience. Let's start by talking about arriving at the campsite and a couple things to take into consideration when you're parking. On your campsite, you're going to leave plenty of room for that awning. Then on your off campsite, beside your slide, I want you to think about where your power and water connections are going to be. Your power, and plug in here on the back corner, and actually your water connection is right next to it. So park accordingly so you can utilize the facilities at the campsite. Once we arrive, unhook our hitch. First thing we're going to do is level our unit. Our unit does come with a power tongue jack. There's a night docking light should you arrive at night. Simply up to raise it, down to lower it. Get your unit level. Once your unit's level, the next thing we're going to do is stabilize it. All four corners of the unit have these new drop-down stabilizing jacks. I'm going to do this quickly just to show you how quickly you can do it. Just watch me. Come up here, unhook your safety latch. Take your 3/4 inch crank here, crank it about 3 times to the right. 1, 2, 3, 2 is enough. Just enough to get a hold of this cotter here, lift it up out of there, and drop these right to the ground. Yeah, a little quicker with 2 hands, but get that dropped right down, and then give it a couple more cranks to the right to lock your pin in. Now I am going to recommend stabilizing jack pads. Jack pads are going to protect the feet of your stabilizing jacks from dirt and debris, keep them from sinking into hot blacktop in the summer. Anyway, run them down in a couple seconds. Run all 4 of them down. You got your unit level and stable. We can hook up your power and water. Now again, your power plug's all the way in the rear of the unit. .30 amp cord. Now the way these go in, get lined up. That button straight in the top, get that lined up, put that black washer on, and you are all set. Again, 30 amps, so if you ever need to plug into a 110, and your convenience pack will be a 30 to 15 amp reducer, you can throw down on the end of that. Got your power hooked up, let's hook up your water. At campsites, we're hooking up to city water connection. First and foremost, a water pressure regulator. One that comes with your convenience pack. Reduces the water pressure to 40 to 50 psi, protecting the lines in your unit. If you don't know what the water pressure is at different campsites, so always use these. Hook that up. Hook up your hose. Let's find your hot water heater real quick. Over here to the right of your door is your hot water heater. And all we're doing at this point, this door will lift right up off here. All we're doing at this point, if we have drained this, there's a little twist knob down there, that little copper one. You twist that to the left and open up the little water lines that are in there and drain that out. If you've left that open last time you've emptied this, which is a good idea if you're not going to be camping for a while, just get all the stagnant little water out of it. Make sure that it's closed back up so that when you turn on your hose, your water, that the water just doesn't come pouring out of here. So go ahead and turn that hose on over there now, and go inside and open up our slide. I want you to open up your slide so you can get to the sinks and showers. Open all them up, get a nice steady flow of water going through them, get all the air out of the lines, shut them off, and you are all set to camp. Now let's say you're going to go dry camping. In that case, over here on your campsite as well is your potable water or freshwater tank. No need for a water pressure regulator here. Simply gravity fill this with a hose. There's 2 ways to tell it's full. There's an overflow valve right here, or on the inside where you check the levels of your black and gray tanks, there's also a freshwater button. Don't leave this unattended while you're filling it. Once it is full, remove the hose, put your cap on. Now whenever you want to utilize that water, you'll turn on your water pump indoors. Don't turn on your water pump and hook to that city water. That is already pressurized. All right, we're all ready to set the camp with power and water. Let me go ahead and walk you around the rest of the unit. Starting here just past the door on your campsite and our hot water heater again. There's where you turn that on. There's where you adjust it. You'll set your temperature water your water temperature on the inside. A couple of outdoor speakers, a hood vent for your range indoors. You can snap a TV on here. There's your cable and satellite hookup for that. Cable 110, excuse me. Again, our fresh water. There is a hole for a manual crank to get your slide in and out should you lose power. You can use that hand crank to do that. Fluid for your furnace, a few things on that. One, make sure it's never blocked. Two, if you are running furnace, steer clear of these, they do get hot. And three, we sell bug guards to go over those to keep the bugs from nesting in there. Big pass-through storage up front. Lighting, 110. This is your up front lighting here. Right there, your blue lights. Again, your power tongue jack. Should you lose power under this rubber stopper, this hand crank will get down in there and get this up and down without power. Speaking of power, check your battery post every now and then. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Your propane is on a regulator. Just point it toward the tank you wish to be using. This will lift right off for you. Lefty loosey to open. Your battery disconnect. This will disconnect all the battery power to the unit. That'll come important later when I talk about your carbon monoxide and propane detector. Your slides, they sell lubricants. One of the maintenance things you really want to do on these is keep these nice and flexible and pliable. Keep them from dry rotting. That's going to add to the longevity of the life of those and make them work correctly. Low point drain over here when the slide is closed. That's your handle for your fresh water drain, which is right up underneath everything. Behind your slide, black and gray holding tanks. That's where we'll dump those when leaving the campsite. Your black tank flush, we'll talk about that when dumping our black tanks. Those you plug the cable in at the campsite. Again, city water connection. Cover for your spare tire, keep that on there. That's gonna again keep that sun off your tire. Add to the life of that. Low point drains behind that. Got a ladder, utilize it. Go up there 2, 3, 4 times a year or whatever you want. You've got the Magnum Trust Series up there. It's completely walkable roof. Get up there, check the seams up there, and caulk as needed with recommended RV roofing caulk. Remember that ceiling bakes in the sun. You want to get up there and check your sealants. You are prepped for a backup camera that you can purchase for this as well. I've already connected the J-port bar. I'll show you in your outdoor kitchen here. So you have that piece there. There's your quick connect LP for that. Your J-port arm will go in, and then this table will flip onto it like so. Make sure you turn it to the side there, sideways. You can put it this way, but you won't be able to close this door. So set it that way. There's your griddle for that. Spray port here, hot and cold shower. More lighting here, 110 and charging port. Your cook area. This is a light for a step light. That about covers everything out here. Let's go take a look on the inside. All right, coming up inside the unit, I want to point, bringing these steps up or down, you want to have that exterior door all the way open. Otherwise that can catch on it coming up or down. Coming inside, first thing I always like to point out is your fire extinguisher. Make sure that you and everyone that's camping with you knows the fire extinguisher is located by the entry doorway in case of emergency. Up to my right as I come in is my control panel. Here's where you check your battery, your fresh tank. That's the one I said to hold down when you're filling your fresh water. Black and 2 gray tanks. Here's where you turn on your water pump to utilize that fresh water. Here's where you turn on living room lighting, awning lighting, slide extension, which is already out, awning extension. and retract. So one thing I just want to tell you on your awning, when you run your awning out, you're only going to run that all the way over until you no longer see white. A flap falls down to 90 degrees and you can see the bar underneath there. If you continue to hold that out from that point, it will flip up onto itself and start to run itself up backwards. So keep an eye on it when you're running it out. Make sure you don't run it out further than you need to. Lights off. And again, I'll tell you, these locks work best when gently slammed. Immediately to your left is your Go Power solar controller. The whole purpose of this is to keep your solar panel from overcharging your batteries. I'll send you a separate video from Go Power, but once we have this set on wet battery, that's the only thing you have to be concerned with. Once it's set on it, it normally doesn't jump off it. So I'll send you a video on that. Coming over here is your thermostat. Here's your modes over here. You've got cool, heat, and fan, and a dry fan, and an auto, whatever you set it at. Down below here is your 12-volt carbon monoxide propane detector. The reason I mentioned that 12-volt, that is always running off your battery. So even with your solar power charging that all the time, if you are going to be out dry camping somewhere, you're going to be gone for a while and you don't want this to run down your battery, use that battery disconnect up front. Just coming into the bathroom, we've got 110 with GFCI reset, a hand crank open exhaust fan. When you arrive at the campsite, put a couple gallons of water into your tank. You know, flush that a few times. Your black tank will thank you later. You'll thank yourself. Coming into our slide, we've got the what they call parachute pull recliners. Get a couple of cup holders. Table will fold down, put it on those plastic bottom pieces, put your backs on there, and it gives you another place to sleep. Into our kitchen, I want to mention plumbing. Little plumbing to maintain. There's your access panel. Most of it is PEX. If you travel a lot in this and you're bouncing this house up and down the road, just check your fittings. Make sure nothing's wiggled loose over time. Standard maintenance. Pop-up power port. Charging ports, 110s. Self-explanatory microwave. Cooktop. This glass top makes an excellent backsplash. Turn on your panel light, and all you'll do is turn this to light and hit it spark from here, and that'll light it. All three of your stove works the same way. Also your oven. You'll turn it to the flame. Turn on your oven light, but turn it to the flame, hit your spark here. Make sure you can see it got lit. You can usually tell just by looking for reflection on the bottom here. You'll see the flame back there. Once it's lit, turn it to your desired temperature. Fridge. Now be careful on these new fridges. Even though yours is designed to open up from this way, it can also open up from this back side. Making sure that's contacted. What they did is they designed a fridge that they can use on different floor plans. So take note that that can open up both ways. The freezer, the fridge. So make sure when you close it, it gets closed solid. Keep an eye on the side that you don't use all the time. TV, only note I want to make on that is when you arrive at the campsite, run a digital channel scan, and that'll help you pick up all the local channels where you're at. You want to do that every time you change places. And also, this green light in here, a little button next to your cable, that's your antenna, so make sure that's on. Sound system, Bluetooth, AM, FM.
And a lot more opportunity.
Indoor, outdoor.
Maybe they wouldn't have
You're allowed to go outdoors.
the long-term.
Really nice sound system. AM, FM again, Bluetooth, auxiliary. Nice sound system. Hold that in to shut it off. Fireplace, not just for looks anymore. This will work off 110. We're on the lot on a battery, so that won't work out here. But you can go through here and look at all the pretty colors. That's great. But the biggest thing is, when you're at a campsite, if it's chilly in here, if you're an early camper, late camper, in the season, if it's chilly in here, don't waste your gas. Crank the heat up on this and it will get it toasty in here in no time. Trust me, they get warm. Here's your AC unit, which will have a quick dump. Just want to mention your door. If you want to have that bungeed for travel, bedroom has a hand crank open exhaust vent as well. Emergency escape window. Prep for a TV over here. Backer there and cable 110 up here. Charging ports 110 on both sides of these. And of course, storage under the bed. There's your spray port hose for outdoors, your quick connect hose. This is your TV mount that you can put on a small TV on. Put it outdoors on that mount. Get that same type of mount and put it in here and you can use that in both places. That about covers everything in here. Let's act like we're leaving the campsite and close the unit up. I already see one thing I want to do, and that is bungee this bathroom door. So now I'll come to my control panel and shut off my living room lights. Now I know any other lighting that is out is individual lighting that I need to walk through and shut off in the unit by myself. Making sure my vents are closed. Oh, I missed it. Let me show you before I forget. This is your breaker box and fuses back here in the bedroom. Spot I'm not used to seeing it in. I missed it. You got a ton of 15s in there and a 30. Highly recommend having, oh, there's a couple 25s. Highly recommend having some of those with you when you go camping. 15s and 25s. All right. Now I've walked through, shut off all of the lighting. Put these down for travel. All lighting shut. I'll turn on my living room lights and say doors and drawers. Walk through your unit. Make sure all doors are secure. All drawers are closed. Nothing's going to impede our slide from coming in. And we're just going to hit slide retract. Now this is on a battery box out in the yard. On a newer battery or even plugged in, this would come in a little bit quicker than this. Shut off my living room lights, I give it a little more power. Once that's in, shut off our lights and exit the unit. Now again, on these steps, bringing them back up, we want to leave this exterior door all the way open. These feet are also adjustable. So pulling on this cotter pin and moving it where you want it. Lock it in there. Now before you leave the dump station, you're going to lock, deadbolt, lift and turn this handle. I say before you leave the dump station because you're going to have to get inside there to check your tanks when we're dumping. If we are dry camping, bringing up our stabilizing jacks, we're going to again now going the opposite way. A couple cranks to the left will bring me up where I can remove this cotter and lift this whole thing up, or remove this release. Lift the whole thing up. Put my safety bracket back, my safety chain, excuse me. Snap that back in here. Do that a couple cranks to the left to make sure it's up in there. Just that quickly you bring them up. Again, now we're dry camping. We're going to come around here, get a hold of this handle, and dump our freshwater tank. When that's done, we're going to head on home or to the nearest dump station, whatever we're in need of. If we're at a campsite, we're going to unhook our power, our water, our cable, hook up our hitch, and head on up to the dump station. At the dump station, park accordingly. You get a 10-foot hose, comes in our convenience pack. Dumps almost at the rear of the unit. Park accordingly. Hook up one end, put the other end in the dump, and pull your black holding tank. which on here it shows you is all the way at the right. That's going to be your sewage. When it sounds like that's no longer draining, go inside, check the level of the black. If it shows empty or really close to it, come back up here. Leave that black handle open. Grab the hose at the dump station and hook up to this tank flush valve. Again, emphasizing leaving that black holding tank handle open. Turn that hose on. Let that run for a good 5 minutes. It's going to wash all that nastiness out of your black tank. When that's done, remove that hose. Make sure all that washout water that you put in there is drained. Then close that up and pull your first gray here. Now usually while my grays are draining, I'll dump my low point drains. When that gray is done, close it, pull the other gray. When that one is done, close that. That's going to be cleaner water, sinks and showers. That's going to clean your sewage hose out for you. Then you can conveniently and sanitarily store it here in the bumper and head on home. Again, we thank you guys so much for your purchase. Hope you enjoy this Jayfeather for many years to come. Happy camping.